Hi, I'm Chris Roselli, and welcome to Western Window, a show made for you by the students at Western Washington University. Today we are delighted to introduce you to Table Talk, a lively and engaging discussion hosted by Western's Danica and Kilander. Here at Western, we are proud to have recently been designated by Ashoka U as a Changemaker campus. This is in recognition of the fact that social entrepreneurship and social innovation are at the core of both the academic and campus life here at Western. Today's Table Talk segment and others in the future will highlight members of the Western community who distinguish themselves as social entrepreneurs, social innovators, as changemakers. It will give us an in-depth look at not only what they do, but of course, why they do it. So stick with us as we explore the world through Western Window and our new segment, Table Talk.
Hi, my name is Danica and Kilander. Can you imagine the world without the people who make it a better place? Can you imagine it without the volunteers, the empathetic leaders, and the people who fight for social justice and sustainability? We call them social entrepreneurs, social innovators, and changemakers, and here at Western, we are all of these things. Welcome to Table Talk, where we'll bring in changemakers connected to Western and we'll find out what drives them. We'll talk about what tools, techniques, and skills they use and what impact they're having on the world. This time we'll speak with Mario Orallo-Molinaro, recent Western grad. When asked to use his gifts and skills to help people who have been affected by suicide, Mario helped co-create a community and support system for those in need. Mario, I kind of want to start with some of your background. Okay. I know that you just graduated from Western and that you were present here with two different colleges. Can you tell us about them?
Right, yeah. So I came in as a freshman. I was involved with Fairhaven College, and then I'm also part of the College of Fine and Performing Arts. Theater, when I was taking these individual classes in acting, made me a better person, while in Fairhaven allowed me to be more group-minded.
I've often wondered about that.
Fairhaven gives purpose towards any subject, any issue. They give that purpose, and they give that weight and that perspective.
And the why.
And the why.
Right.
I think that's my favorite motto right now. Is Fairhaven gives the why. and as a freshman, a very lonely freshman, trying to understand what my purpose was, being able to say why and why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Really evolved my thinking. And so finally, when I brought those tools of me asking why to the College of Fine and Performing Arts, I was pretty well equipped, right, to handle any situation that popped up.
Right.
When I was in the moment, I didn't realize it, but now that I'm outside of college and I look back in as a junior, I realize that, freshman, sophomore year, you're kind of like, what am I doing? And if you know what you're doing, good for you.
Right,
Great, do your thing. But like junior, senior year, sometimes even when you're out of college, you're like, I'm still not knowing. But for a good majority of folks, it's like that junior year, it's like, this is what I want to do.
Mario, the Associated Students and WWU chapter of To Write Love on Her Arms held a suicide awareness event in 2012. And in their words, it was an event not just about mourning and reflecting, but connecting as a community, as a family, and as a human being to make sure every single person is supported and cared for here at Western. So as I understand it, you had no personal experience with either suicide or event planning, but you ended up helping co-create this event. How did this come to happen?
Dr. Pratt asked me, hey, there's something there's an issue on campus that really no one wants to talk about. No one wants to talk about that issue. So one of my good friends, Kayla, who was the founder of To Write Love on Her Arms, she started to bring up these topics, like maybe we should have an event and where we actually talk to folks, and we talk to folks who have struggled with potentially being suicidal, or folks that know people that have committed suicide.
Right. Do you have any background in it before?
Right. No, not at all.
And so you just kind of jumped in. Somebody said, we have a need on campus.
Yeah, we have a need.
We need you to help somehow. And then you basically had to come up with a means.
Right. So, and the good thing is that there are people there that wanted to help out too, right?
Nice.
This woman named Kurji, who is the most remarkable woman I've ever met. She's in the career services. She was super inspiring because she was one of the people that were like, I no longer want to be silent. I want to have a voice in this conversation.
Right.
And then Kayla, she's also experienced as, she's research done a lot in terms of folks who have been silent. So me, I had that support.
Right.
And so I think that's what's really cool about all this is, even though I had no background about it, other people did, and so I have that faith to be able to just jump in.
And that was the moment that kind of helped you create that awareness of...
Yeah, it clicked for me. And so I was like, after that whole, present time, it's now called the Walk of Hope, but when I started, it's called the Walk of Life. And so now, after Walk of Life, after that whole event, I was like, I want to do theater for social change, right? I want to make that happen. And it was being able to work as a community, which I learned in Fairhaven, and then also be able to understand and connect with folks, because I talked with folks who have struggled and stuff, and who still struggle. And so it's super empowering for me to learn those traits in theater, the college of, the CFPA, and be able to connect and be present with them. Because I realize that this ain't about trying to be an actor anymore, right?
Sure.
It's not about trying to be this, like, I want to, celeb. It became more like I just want to be a better human being. I want to allow others to be a better human being.
To Write Love in Our Arms, Western Washington University chapter, is a new club here on campus. We started up this year in association with the national nonprofit organization To Write Love on Her Arms, located out of Florida. And their mission statement that we follow here on campus is providing hope and encouragement to those who struggle with depression, addiction, self-injury, and suicide. And we're really here to reduce stigmas around these issues and create a welcoming community where people can feel comfortable talking about them, because it's our belief that when you talk about them, they become less scary.
In terms of suicide awareness, it is definitely a struggle. There's always a big transition every year, no matter from where you are, to the next, and it can be difficult. It really can be.
There are tons of people out there that love you. There are tons of people out there that will support you. And even when you're in your lowest low, you have to just think back to all the positive times and all the people who have helped you to accomplish your great things in life and helped you to get to where you are.
It's one of those things that no one wants to talk about because they're scared, they're afraid, and so I took it as a need to try and get that stigma out of here and let folks know that that this issue is important.
Suicide awareness and suicide is a social issue, and it's something that a lot of members in our office are really passionate about talking about, because suicide has sometimes been such a taboo subject that it's not talked about mainstream, and it's something that should be talked about because it's something that affects us all. It's so important.
People love you, even though it's hard to believe it sometimes. The world can feel like a really dark place, and it's just really important to remember that we're here for you and we care about you. Your story matters, your life is important, and it gets better. It really does. And we believe that by talking about it more, we'll help encourage people to take that next step and think, maybe this doesn't have to be the end.
We talk about that all the time. We always talk about Western is the place. Everyone here is looking out for each other, but the Walk of Life is here to assure that we're putting that word to action through the Walk of Life. And so hopefully people will know that they are cared about and that we do love them so much. I think that's so important.
You've mentioned several times theater for social change.
Right.
And I wonder if I have a grasp of that concept. Tell me what that looks like, or what are the components?
Right. How I see theater for social change is that we do shows, we inspire folks to tell their stories, or if they want to write a play or do whatever to really share a part of mankind or humankind or whatever that no one wants, that's common but no one wants to talk about.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, so kind of what you're saying is here, there's you take an issue like suicide,
Right.
where a lot of sort of the energy around that is in silencing, right?
Right.
People have a hard time talking about it.
Yeah.
There's maybe shame, there's fear, there's
of shame, right.
guilt, it's just difficult to talk about.
Right,
And
right,
so
right.
you're using your skills in theater to help people express the things
Right.
that they don't normally talk about.
Right.
Or to have a venue where they can see other people talk about it. Is that what we're doing here?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Oh yeah, and now and that inspired me to like try and work for a couple of organizations.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was Missoula Children's Theater. That really inspired me because they're all about theater for social change, right? They go into communities around the world, right? They go to all 50 states, I think like 16 countries or 17 countries, and they cast local youth to do a show, right?
What kind of show?
It's an hour long. It's an hour long musical. Well, the one I did was a musical, and they cast local youth that at times have never done theater or have never experienced a venue to just
Right.
be goofy, be fun, but really be on stage, right? And
So the show's like already written?
show's already written,
And everybody gets
Yeah.
their part and they kind of
Yeah,
get up
yeah,
there
yeah.
and get their
It's,
costumes for the first time.
Yeah.
And then what are the kids at the end of that sort of like theater experience? What sort of feedback are you hearing on that?
I'm hearing like, wow, I actually can be on stage, one, or two, I can finally have fun on stage.
Right.
I was in a town of like 800 people.
Seriously?
Yeah, and like everyone knows everyone, right?
Right.
And the fact that this company is their only art for the year is insane, right? And
Really?
So, oh yeah. Like we are spoiled here. You
Right.
know, watching, Seattle, right? Bellingham, Vancouver, BC. We are spoiled in terms of the art because some of these places, Missoula is it. MCT is like the theater that they've had for the entire year. So people treasure that, and it's interesting to see this hour-long kids play that be so packed by the community. The mayor comes, everyone comes, all these people come because they realize how essential it is. And vulnerability is probably is one of the greatest things you could do, in my opinion. Right? It's also kind of scary how awesome it is, like seeing that change happen and seeing it consistent and how it always works. Right? It always does work. When folks become vulnerable, other folks tend to be like, actually, I want to be like that too. So.
What happens in that space of vulnerability? Because I think I know where we're coming from here, is that I get to have this conversation a lot with people where they say, I really wish I was more like that. I really wish I could step out and solve this problem. I really wish I'd spoken up when I'd seen that injustice. And then we talk. Why are we not moving, and why are we not doing it? And I think it has a lot to do with these masks and roles and rules and judgment. And so what happens if we were to be more vulnerable? Like, is that the kind of social change that you're talking about?
Absolutely. I think, college life in general, there's a one word that came to me when I was here: insecurities. Right? I was very insecure being in college because I had no idea. Like, I want to impress. I want to have friends. I want to impress my professors. I was just like, I want to do this, but I want people to like me, and I refuse to be vulnerable, if that makes sense. And so a lot of people at least thought of me, or at least have experienced in college life, like people not being able to connect, and it's because people putting on that front, right? And so when I finally realized I just need to just stop trying to impress and just be me, be vulnerable, right? People were a lot more like, cool, you're a human being, right? I want to hang out with you, right? And so I think that's a college thing in general, is folks tend to play up stuff rather than just being able to say, you know what, I'm a human being, I make mistakes, and you make mistakes, and let's just have a conversation together. And so it's something that I try and do, and I struggle with it, but when I went through college, especially towards the tail end, I realized that if I knew about being vulnerable from the get-go, like being able to jump into things and being able to say, oh, I'm learning, right? Because I think college was such a great learning atmosphere. I would have been in a whole new world, in a whole new place, but I'm glad that it took me that long. Does that make sense? Like, I'm glad that I struggled to find that.
Sure.
Right?
Well, I think honoring the struggle is one thing, but as you were speaking, I was really starting to wonder, what if vulnerability is kind of our end goal here, if that's where we really grow, and specifically at Western, you know, we're here to help people grow. And then this area, like you mentioned, Seattle, Vancouver, there's a lot of sort of realness and rawness here, but if we could kind of approach it with more vulnerability, where would we be? And so I guess my initial question was, how can we start that earlier? Why are we waiting until it's our junior year to really learn to be vulnerable and to step outside? So how do you think, as a society, we can sort of approach vulnerability earlier as a community with sort of a holistic view?
Well, I think that's the golden question, right? I think that the easy answer is to start off folks, especially, you know, when they come to college, you know, with that conversation, right? That, hey, folks, and I know people say it, but it's hard, it's a lot easier said than done, right? There are classes out there, there are clubs out there that really want you to be vulnerable, and, and that they
kind of open the doors.
They
for
kind of open those doors, right? And, and so I think it's being able to keep doing that. So.
Well, I wonder if it's a practice thing, right? So I think in this conversation that we're having, there's an assumption that students are coming here and they don't already know about it. So I think maybe a step back is, what can we as community members, how do we interact with each other? I mean, is this about us then going out and volunteering more? Because what about the people who aren't going to college? You know, where can we start?
I don't know. And I think that's a good point, right? I don't know, but I think I think there is no solution. I think it's a matter of like discovery, right? Allowing people that platform to be vulnerable, to have a say in stuff, right?
Right.
Because I think a lot of people have says right now in terms of like social media. They always have an opinion there, but where it counts, they don't really take that opportunity, right?
Sure.
And so I think the discovery of being vulnerable, I think, is just as great as being able to be vulnerable.
The Upfront was founded by Ryan Stiles from Whose Line Is It Anyway, and everybody knows who Ryan is.
I'm Neil Patrick Harris. I played the part of Doogie Howser for 4 years on ABC. Some people know me as Ryan Stiles. That's my stage name.
We do short form improv, we do long form improv, heralds. We also do very stylized, specific formats. We do all kinds of different improv here at the theater. What's this?
This theater here that I started 6 years ago. None of these people knew each other. Some live together now. Some, you know, it's like a family here, and that's in 6 years. We all are best friends now, and it's just from trusting people on stage, you know.
How are you doing?
Good.
How's your road eyes?
It's great. You get suggestions, you make things up, and you play. You know, you're a child for a little while. That's all it is. You just listen to people, you accept what they say, and you just try to add information onto that. Yeah. It's really easy, actually. It's the hardest thing in the world to do, but all you really have to do is listen and add on. That's it.
We were just talking about the Upfront Theater and about the opportunity to kind of go and see people be like raw and real and sort of alive in the moment, but then also about the classes that you all teach there.
Right. So I think was talking with a teacher in Mount Vernon. He was a teacher for, I think he said 30 years, maybe 20 years. Anyway, decades, right? And he came to the Upfront and was like, I just want to be vulnerable. I want to be present and connect. And I want to learn how to improv because I've never improv'd in my life. And I'm just thinking to the guy, you're a teacher, bro. Like, you're a teacher.
you live improv.
You improv like every day, right? And apparently, because he taught so long, he just kind of went on autopilot, right? And
How easy.
And he was phenomenal. You know, seeing that person in the classes was amazing. But it is I think I talk to folks every day that want to learn how to be open more. They want to They want to be vulnerable, and they want to be funny, right? I think the reason why I work for the Upfront, other than the fact that it's an amazing opportunity, it's an amazing company, and the people there are awesome. Yeah. I get to do the thing that I went to college for, which is that social change, and I think improv is definitely that social change maker, right? Because you give people the opportunity to laugh at things when people are so serious, right? Especially because it's winter nowadays, and it's gloomy out. To be able to go to the Upfront, to be, take an improv class, go to a comedy show, and just relax and be like, life is goofy.
Right.
Life is just, it's full of whatever, but it's a good life, right? It's a good thing. And so being able to do that and as a job, as a career, I wouldn't have if I hadn't have learned what I learned here. And so I think it's been an interesting ride. It's been an interesting ride in terms of not being in college anymore, and now because again, that's a different perspective and a whole new mask, which is like outside college, Mario. I gotta pay bills, and how much is Comcast? 100 something.
Right.
So I don't know why I mentioned that, but
no, it is. There's a transition there, and I think that's another thing that we don't always chat about is. Okay, we got you into college, and we're going to go through this incredible struggle to sort of help you shape here, and then we just kind of plunk you out into the good luck out there. I hope your wings work.
Yeah.
But I think that you've found it. I really admire the sense that you have found a way to sort of laugh along with it and play, and to give other people the opportunity to do that. Right.
And it's been awesome to do that every day, right? And it's something that I don't take for granted, right? I think a lot of people have a gift, and we all have gifts, right? All you out there have gifts.
Again.
Yeah, again. They just don't know how to use that venue, right? Especially when they get out of college, they're like, I just went 5 years, 6, for 4 years doing this major. I'm burnout, and it's just like, now is your time to make that change, folks. You just got the amazing education of
We're so
Western.
Privileged.
Yeah,
Yes.
super privileged, and now that you have that amazing gift from this college, go out there and make some changes. And the cool thing is that Western is super unique because we see the change makers every day. Right. We see, this person's from Western. He was on the Forbes 300 list as a top marketer, and like that's just one example, right? We have so many amazing people from Western who understand that they need to be that change, and instead of saying it's like, oh, don't worry, Danica is going to do that change. It's like, I'm going to, and if she wants to join me, that's great.
Right.
But we're going to go push.
And we'll work together. Sure.
So it's kind of like Wizard of Ozzy. Like, we're going to do it together. we're off to make change.
Come on, Toto.
Well, come on, Toto. For me, it's a beautiful, wonderful roller coaster, and I think people need to enjoy every moment of it. Right. When I was dealing with the walk of life, it was the most terrifying thing. But to be able to say that it's done, and it was also, I'm going to say, it was fun to do.
Yeah.
It was fun to do that. It was great to meet people, and we realized just how connected we all are, and how people also take that for granted. How we're all human and we all make mistakes, and so, but we got to keep on going, keep on going, right? And so hopefully that's out. So.
I just adore you.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm really impressed by the way you said, like, here we're taking on this huge issue. We're taking on suicide. We're helping you carry your weight.
Right.
And it's fun.
Right.
I think we forget that sometimes.
Right.
It's fun.
It's fun.
To be a part of something else, even if it's something heavy and hard, and we had to slough through it for a minute, and we have to learn and grow, and all the edges poke us, and then it's fun.
Well, and I don't know anything about. You're right. I think that's the thing that still shocks me is when I came in, I was like, I don't know anything about this topic, and I feel super scared because everyone has dealt with something or experienced something that I have not experienced. So I felt silent in that manner because it's like I don't want to offend anybody.
Right.
But being able to just say, "Yep, I'm here. We're gonna it's gonna be a ball and jump in," and now look at it, right? And now I think it's been an amazing event that has really empowered folks who need to be empowered and really allowed them the opportunity to say, I do matter, we do matter.
trying to survive. The glow that the sun gets right around sunset helps me realize this is just a journey. Drop your worries, you are gonna turn out fine. Oh, you turn out fine. Fine, oh, you turn out fine. But you gotta keep your head up, oh, and you can let your head down, hey. You gotta keep your head up, oh, and you can let your head down, hey. I know it's hard, to remember sometimes, but you gotta keep your head up, oh, and you can let your head down, hey, 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 hey. I got my hands in my pockets, kicking these rocks. It's kinda hard to watch this life go by. I'm buying into skeptics. Skeptics mess with the confidence in my eyes. I'm seeing all the angles, thoughts get tangled. I start to compromise my life and my purpose. Is it all worth it? Am I gonna turn out fine? Oh, you turn out fine. Fine, oh, you turn out fine. You can let your head down.
Now, that would have never happened, right, if I was like, I'm scared, peace out, you know,
I don't
sorry,
want to think about this topic.
delete email, you know, sorry everybody that, no, this is a big issue, but sorry. And the cool thing is I didn't do it on my own, and in no way am I taking credit for just doing this. I think a lot of people helped out.
Yeah.
A lot of amazing people that really wanted to see that change too. And so I think one of the things that's exciting about what you're doing and the work that you do is that you pose this question of how can we see social change happen, right? Or where can we do it? And I think people are like, this is how, and then people will jump on board for that. Because I think as long as you ask those questions, people will have some sort of answer.
Right.
And it may not be the answer, but I think it's an answer, or it's an answer that'll somehow work its way out. And so I think asking questions is probably the best. And so you asking these questions for me has been inspiring for me and empowers me. And
Thank you, Mario.
and I think you got to keep on asking those questions without trying to find that solution. So.
Well, it means a lot that you show up here and allow us to just ask the questions kind of raw and real. So
Right.
thank you
No
for your
problem.
time. Thank you for coming and for
Thank
sharing
you
your
so
story
much
with
for
us,
having me.
of course.
That wraps up this Table Talk segment of Western Window. Be sure to tune in next time as we explore the world at and around Western Washington University.